So as all you guys know, probably most of my subscribers are aware of the fact that I'm, a Star Wars nerd. I've always been into collecting Star Wars. I'm not a huge collector to where whatever they put out with the Star Wars name on it, I have to buy. I'm more of a, pick and choose what I like to buy. I don't really buy anything from the prequels. I'm just pretty much strictly an original trilogy fan. And so I've really been liking the vintage collection, which has been going pretty strong now since 2010. So I headed to Five Below. For a while now, they've been carrying the Star Wars vintage collection, and for $5 a figure, which totally beats the $9.99 that you would pay anywhere else. They had a whole peg full of Rebel Commandos, which I did pick up a Rebel Commando. Cool figure, shows the vintage figure on the back. After doing a little more searching, I found a Admiral Akbar. Another cool figure, shows the vintage on the back. That's a trap! And then probably my favorite pickup there was Wedge Antilles. We never had a vintage figure, so we get them now, which is cool. And then I also found, which isn't Star Wars, but I found Claudus from the Thundercats. Cool figure. It was the only one that I needed to complete my collection of all the new figures that came out.
Why am I doing this?
And then I found out online that Taylortown Trade Center was having an antique and collectible show, so I figured let's go check that out. You never know what you can find there. I found Star Wars stuff there before. Let's go have a look. So we get there and we're walking around, and I find a guy who's selling a lot of vintage toys from Masters of the Universe, Star Wars, a few Power Ranger things. And he had a box of loose Star Wars figures. And I got really excited until I asked him how much, and then he told me $5 each, which is okay if they're maybe 80 to 90% complete. If they're just missing the weapon, I don't mind paying $5, but he had a couple Yoda figures that didn't have the robe, weapon, belt, snake. They didn't have anything, and he wanted $5 for it. So that was kind of disappointing. We had some ships which were cool, but I don't really buy those. And if I'm going to buy a ship from the Power of the Force 2 line from the 90s, I'm going to buy it in the box. I don't want it loose. And we had a couple tri-logo cards which are cool, but I really just kind of passed on that. There was another guy who had some stuff. I didn't get footage of it, but he had a couple action figures that were signed by Peter Mayhew, which were kind of cool. This show's going on all weekend, so I'll probably go check it out tomorrow too, and see if there's anyone new there, and maybe repay those guys a visit.
My wife and I was like, oh my god, they have Claudus. Wedge Antilles. Oh, ripping in the bottom corner. Got a little bit of creases and Claudus, but no big deal.